Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, another paid request, this time for Alan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2023 film Renfield that came out recently, starring Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, and Sally, someone else, which I'll get to. You also have Ben Schwartz, who is the voice of Sonic in the new movies. Now, the premise of this film I wasn't sure about, even with the trailers. And to be honest, I think I saw the trailer, but then I completely forgot about it. And the idea is that Renfield, who is the assistant of Dracula, pretty much his slave, he's down a 12-step self-help group. And he, with this group, is talking about the toxic relationship between him and Dracula. And I'm like, God, I don't know about this premise. I don't know about this fucking bullshit, really. But I will say, like, Nicholas Hoult did a fairly capable job. The self-help group at least made things a bit unique compared to other tales of vampires and Dracula. I loved visually what they did, where they put the two actors into the 1931 Dracula movie, where it's black and white, and Nicolas Cage seems perfect as a Bela Lugosi Dracula. To the point, I kind of wish the entire movie was this. I wish it was this, either them being put into the 1931 Dracula, or maybe take various vampire films of that era and put them together, but it's Nick Cage and Nicholas Hoult, so you could say that you want. It was visually striking. It was very cool to watch. It's very neat how they did it. I wish there was more of it. So after that, there's a point where these priests try to kill Dracula. He even gets trapped, but Renfield helps his master. The priests get killed. They need to find a new place, so they go to... was it Vegas? I forget what the location was. That shows where my mind's slipping. I apologize, folks. It's been a few days. I wasn't really paying attention to the location they were at. But I would say overall I liked the film because I liked those two leads, Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage. I thought Cage was having a ball in this movie. Hoult made a pretty decent, effective lead. Well, he knew he was guilty for his participation, but yet I still felt a bit of sympathy for him as well. And the movie's a lot bloodier than I thought it would be. It was a lot more violent than I thought it would be. And there's some pretty good practical effects. At that part, I loved. I got a kick out of. There's some really good pieces of gore in this. And also some fight scenes that's a little bit of the Nobody, John Wick, this era. So you get Renfield, when he eats a bug, as he's known to do, Renfield, he gets a bit of superhuman strength, and that's used to effectiveness where... I don't want to give away for people who haven't seen it, but there's some pretty effective scenes of that, and some pretty good action pieces because of that. And I would say that's... Nicolas Cage, the lead, and those scenes are definitely the high point of the movie. I'll talk more about that when I get into the spoilers. But there's a big asterisk. I like the film, but I don't love it. So for those who say I hate everything, there's another film. Like the Super Mario Bros. Film this year I liked. Creed 3 I liked. This film I liked. But I don't think there's very rare... especially nowadays, movies that are perfect. This one, the big asterisk starts with an A. It's Awkwafina. As a friend of mine says, not the fucking water. It's a shitty, unfunny, untalented, female Kevin Hart, fucking lame-ass bullshit of a character. And bullshit of a... I don't know why the fuck this lady did so many roles. She was in Shang-Chi as the unfunny character Leaf. She's in this as a cop. I don't buy her as a cop. I don't buy her as a hairdresser. I don't buy her as a comedian. And sadly, for some reason, she is one, supposedly. Although she hasn't said anything to make me laugh. Her dialogue, her delivery, her lines, her mannerisms, it's just so out of place, and she hurts the film a lot. She is easily the worst part, and her whole cop story, something about her dad died from this criminal organization, the Lobos, and she also has a sister, and there's bits between them. You didn't lose a dad. It's not just you who lost a dad. And I don't buy her, like, just even her as a cop. Well, she'll see Renfield do all this stuff and go, wow, that's really cool. Like, not acting in any way like a cop. I know you're not supposed to think realistically in this movie, but she's just awkward. She's not charismatic. She's just dog shit on top of dog shit. And she's as funny as a crack whore going to Denny's trying to order a fucking... Well, actually, you know what? That would be funny. A crack whore going to Denny's trying to order a meal. That'd be actually maybe hilarious. But she's as hilarious as me step on a goddamn nail and getting the tetanus shot up my ass. Fuck this character. Fuck Awkwafina. I don't even drink Awkwafina water. That's how much I don't like her. I said fuck it. I did something else. Dusani, whatever the fuck. I'll get that water instead. Won't even get Awkwafina water. Just because it's somewhat similar to your name, I will never drink Awkwafina. I didn't drink, but I will never drink Awkwafina water again. I will get the tap water from my sink instead. Actually, the water I prefer is Mountain Spring, Irish Spring, Mountain Spring. So anytime we cut to her and her cop storyline, this fat fuck party she has, the fact that, oh, everybody is on the take, and she'll do these things like, you motherfuckers, like, you're trying to sound tough, you're failing. You're trying to be a cop, you're failing. You're trying to be funny, you're failing. You're trying to act, you're failing. On the F scale of fuck. Please, Awkwafina, get the fuck out of the film business. Same with Kevin Hart, who is honestly funnier in interviews compared to movies. At least Kevin Hart, there's one or two films I can deal with him. I like Central Intelligence. Awkwafina, nothing so far. She's like a fucking kryptonite. So, that's just my opinion. But when she's not on the screen, when it's centered on Nicholas Hoult and either the self-help group trying to talk about his relationship with Nicolas Cage, or Nicolas Cage having fun being Dracula, or the gore makeup effects moments. Because there's bits where like, Nick Cage is trying to heal from being terribly burnt, and you had Nick Cage in these different makeup designs. Look really neat. Very nicely done on the makeup effects bits. Or when the fight scenes happen, they're not on par with the first three John Wicks or Nobody or Day Shift. I put those above this. But it's still some entertaining moments. They should have taken the Awkwafina Cup plot and threw it out the fucking window. You didn't need it. You did not need it. There was no point to it. Take her scenes and just have the self-help group make him want to be a better person. And he meets like these various people in the self-help group. Well, this person I like because of this person I like because of this. And the friendship of this group helping him is what gets him to finally turn on Dracula. That's what it should have been. Not this Awkwafina and this cop plot that just was boring as shit. Now, again, the spoilers. Another negative I had with the film, other than Awkwafina, was some pointless cameos that it was cool to see at first, but they didn't really lead anywhere. Like one of the priests near the beginning of the film that Dracula kills is like a big high priest with a big beard and has like this cross or something. I'm like, why does he look familiar? It's William Ragsdale from the original Fright Night. And Dracula goes into his body and then practically explodes. So, oh man, I wish. I heard that William Ragsdale was in the movie, and I'm like, oh, well, that's it? Oh, that's where he's at? Well, that's a shame. That's a waste. Same with, like, Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is in the movie. I don't know. She's like Ben Schwartz, again, the voice of the new Sonic in the Sound of the Hedgehog movies. He plays the son of this crime boss, and he gets arrested, and she's the lawyer that gets him out. She maybe has 2 lines of dialogue, maybe, and then you never see her again. I'm like, well, that's a waste. Like, I understand their cameos, but it's like, just a waste. Like, Caroline Williams, you got William Ragsdale, really given nothing to do, just these little pointless, quick cameos. I don't even know why they can't. Like, William Ragsdale, I get Fright Night, that connection, but Caroline Williams, I don't get the why. It's cool, but at the same time, like, why her? Like, I like Caroline Williams. Give her more to do. Unless there was stuff that was cut out. But yeah, it was just pointless. But listen, Nicholas Hoult, the way he deals with this manipulative relationship, feeling trapped. There's times where he's narrating, there's times dealing with the self-help group. Nicholas Hoult, like I said, was effective. I thought he did a good job. There's a bit where he's supposed to get victims for Dracula, so he's going to help his self-help group and find their toxic problems. So, like, this asshole boyfriend finds him. Apparently he's part of this group that are working with these bad guys, and a hitman is coming. This big bodybuilder looking, not bodybuilder, this big hulking guy with a mask on, who's a hitman. And the hitman guts Renfield. But then Renfield, especially with some buds, is able to stab the guy's neck. Even does a punch and pops the guy's head off. And it looked practically done. Like, punches. The head gets fucking popped up, blood everywhere. I'm like, oh shit. Same with, there's a bit in this club where the Awkwafina and the crime family shit is there, and Ben Schwartz. But then Renfield decides to help, and he's like kicking tables, and they're flying to people's faces, and he takes something and like does this and cuts both of the guy's arms off. There's a bit where later on during the action scene, he hits a guy and rips the guy's arms off, and he's using the arms to beat people with. There's another bit he slashes down and rips off a guy's face, done practically. I'm like, oh shit, this was cool. Or someone is hanging off a balcony trying to grab Awkwafina, and Renfield jumps down and hits the guy gets ripped apart in half. And then Awkwafina watches, and Renfield's like waving in slow motion as he's on top of the dead body going to the ground. So moments of that graphic brutality, that was fucking Ricky O, the story of Ricky, Mortal Kombat style, that was entertaining. I mean, there was more gore in this than that new fucking Mortal Kombat movie. That, oh, there's so much gore in that. It felt like there was more gore in this movie. And in the Nicolas Cage, just the way he's having fun with the role, whether it be controlling Renfield, manipulating him, saying, you know what, you said I do deserve better things. You know what, I'm going to take over the world. And or there's a bit where he confronts Renfield. Renfield's trying to deal with this, trying to stop him with the words from the self... what was the name of the book? How to Defend Against a Narcissist. And he holds it, and the way Nick Cage goes, what? I will admit that it made me chuckle, it made me laugh. And he's in it throughout the film, but I wish... Seeing the way Nick Cage played as Dracula, I wish it was just his movie and his movie alone, in a way. He's having so much fun with it. Like, maybe it was this Dracula, but maybe, like, what if Dracula had a split personality? What if there's a part of him that wanted to reform, and he's fighting all these bad guys and doing all this stuff, but then on the flip side, it's him still wanting world domination. I almost want to see, like, that movie instead. But again, the Renfield character I didn't mind. Like I said, the story has its flaws in it. Awkwafina especially, I did not buy the love connection between the two of them, her and Renfield. I didn't buy it at all. But it's a pretty short film. Thought it went at a pretty good pace. Can't say I was really bored with it. The fight scenes I thought were pretty decently choreographed. Nick Cage is having a ball when he's on screen. Like I said, the touches, the extra gore that I was surprised with, like I said, the black and white inside the Bela Lugosi movie at the beginning, I thought was a nice touch. As I wish we could have seen more of that. I think when I looked at the trailer again before doing this review, they really downplay the Awkwafina cop part, it seems. And it's almost as if they were ashamed of this part of the movie, which is kind of the lesser ingredients of it all. Because then it becomes, Renfield and Awkwafina try to deal with this crime family, and then Nicolas Cage is joining the crime family, and then he's turning some of these others into familiars, so they're like Renfield, and then Renfield has to fight some of these guys. And then ultimately has a little bit of a fight against Nicolas Cage. Nothing too extravagant, though, which is too bad. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy it for what it was. And I had enough fun with it that it's at the very least a time waster. Maybe some people felt that the Renfield stuff and the whole self-help group, maybe they felt more could have been done with it, or more satire could have been done with it. And maybe people are mad that I just went to more of the action route, but I'm a sucker for action. So that's always a soft spot for me in my heart. I'm a sucker for action scenes, fight scenes. I'm always happy to see that type of stuff. So I'm the type of guy that if you're asking me which would I rather see, cool fight sequences or satire, smarter stripped, I'm the guy that would go more for the action sequences. I can't help it. If they're worth the shit, more my cup of tea. Unlike, recent Marvel stuff, which I could give a rat's ass about. Superhero stuff. Like I said, I wish Awkwafina wasn't in the film. I wish the whole cop stuff wasn't in the film. I thought that, again, William Radsdale, Caroline Williams, would have been nice to see him used a bit better. I would have had William Radsdale as the leader of the self-help group. Like, that's how, if I wanted to have William Radsdale in this movie, I would have had that be the case. William Radsdale is a guy who's part of the self-help group. Does he give a bit more time? More of us to see that, oh, it's William Radsdale, and I think he could have pulled it off well. I would have preferred that. And if Awkwafina is a top fuck. You have Caroline Williams have her be a lawyer that Renfield gets arrested, and Caroline Williams gets him on bail, and then it could be a friendship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship as well. You know, a guy and a lady, they can become friends. It doesn't just have to be let's fuck. Although they don't really do that in this movie, to be fair. They don't really go too much that route, it seems. So, but it's like, I don't know. Like I said, to be fair, I mean, it's not like I don't remember them kissing or anything, so they don't. I guess they don't go too far on the romantic. But I guess you're supposed to assume as well that they will. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like even I'm still struggling. Like, were they meant to be a couple at the end or not? Or I guess so. But I said I didn't feel really any chemistry, any steaminess, nothing in between. So it fell flat, flatter than a fucking pancake sat on by butterbean. I just didn't give a shit about it. So it's a flawed film, but there was enough entertainment and gore and the two leads that I still had a good enough time. But it wouldn't make... Overall, I had fun enough. If that makes sense. So with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.